Sun cobane kawulangan kitwang salan kawulangan kitwang salan sekare gadung semakin
Please give a round of applause to our traditional Javanese dances from our very own students from our Faculty of Health Science, Universitas Jenderal Soedirman.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning ladies and gentlemen, salam sejahtera, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Rahayu, salam kebajikan. The Honorable Minister of Health of the Republic of Indonesia, or the representative special staff of the Minister of Health for Pharmaceutical and Medical Device Industry Licensing, Profesor Dr. Laksono Trisnantoro MSc PhD, Director of Universitas Jenderal Soedirman, Vice Rectors, Deans, Heads of Institution, Directors of Postgraduate Programs, Head of Bureaus, all conference speaker, Professor Rosa Nolosin from Florida Atlantic University, USA, Professor Alan Cole from the Liverpool School of the Tropical Medicines, Associate Professor Dr. Kitty Sranacharonpong from Mahidol University, Karsten Diers, PhD from Diers International GmbH, Germany, Miss Siwi Pramatama Marswi Jayanti, PhD, all committees and all distinguished participants and presenters whom I cannot individually name, present at Java Heritage Hotel or joining virtually in the Zoom. Welcome to the 5th International Conference in Health Sciences 2023.
All praise and gratitude are extended to Allah, God above, and the Almighty, for through His mercy, we have gathered once again to participate in the 5th International Conference in Health Sciences organized by the Faculty of Health Sciences at Universitas Jenderal Soedirman. This year, the 5th International Conference in Health Sciences has adopted the theme Strengthening Collaboration and Innovation for Better Health Care. This international conference conducted in a hybrid format with several participants joining remotely via Zoom.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenters and participants of the conference, I kindly request your permission to present the agenda for this morning. Following the opening remarks is singing of the Indonesian National Anthem, Indonesia Raya, at the Faculty of Health Sciences Anthem. This will be followed by a report from the chairperson of the organizing committee, a welcoming speech from the Dean of the Faculty of Health Sciences, Universitas Jenderal Soedirman, and last, the official welcoming and opening remarks by the Rector of Universitas Jenderal Soedirman. And for the first agenda, singing of the Indonesian National Anthem, Indonesia Raya, we kindly ask who's joining virtually upright sitting posture and those who present at the Java Heritage Hotel to stand.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take a seat. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests and participants, we will now proceed to the next session, which is the report from the chairperson of the 5th International Conference in Health Sciences 2023 Organizing Committee. To Rifki Pestiawan, SPD, MD, the time is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Salam sejahtera, Om Swastiastu, salam bajikan. And it's with immense pleasure and deep sense of privilege that I stand before today as the chairman of the 5th International Conference of Health Sciences in health, organized by the Faculty of Health Science, Universitas Jenderal Soedirman, and this event marks a significant milestone in our collective pursuit of advancing healthcare through innovation and collaboration. First and foremost, I would like to extend a warm hearty welcome to our esteemed university leadership, represented today by our Vice Rector, Dr. Sos Waluyo Handoko, MSc, and our distinguished Dean the Faculty of Health Sciences, Dr. Sehum Budiaji, SKM, MSc, and your unwavering support and guidance have been instrumental in making this conference a reality, and we are deeply honored to have you with us today. And I would also like to extend a warm welcome to all our guests who join us for this conference, as well to the renowned speakers and experts who have graced us with their presence. To our esteemed speakers, Professor Dr. Laksono Trisnantoro from Ministry of Health Indonesia, kemudian and Prof. Rosana Laksin from Florida Atlantic University, and Associate Prof. Kitty Sanak Charonpong from Institute of Nutrition, Maidol University, and also Captain Deers, PhD from Deers International, Germany, and Prof. Alan Cole from Liverpool School of Tropical Medicine, and also Siwi Pramatama Mars Wijayanti, PhD from University of Jenderal Soedirman. We are truly grateful for your willingness to share your knowledge and also expertise with us. Your contribution are invaluable and will undoubtedly enrich our discussion over the next few days. And I also want to express my sincere thanks to all the participants who have joined us from near and far, and your presence here reflects your commitment to advancing the field of health sciences through collaboration and innovation. So I am pleased to announce that we have a total 257 participants from various countries, and which underscore the global reach and significance of this conference. I will also like to take a moment to express our appreciation to everyone who has supported this event, from our sponsor, our partners, to the dedicated member, to our organizing committee. Your collective efforts have been instrumental in ensuring the success of this conference. So our conference theme is strengthening innovation and collaboration for better healthcare, underscore the paramount importance to working together to address the challenges and opportunities in the field of healthcare. In a world that is constantly evolving, where new health trends and technological advancement emerge daily, it's incumbent upon us to be at the forefront of innovation and collaboration. And together, we can transform healthcare delivery and improve the lives of countless individuals around the globe. As we embark on this 5th International Conference of in Health Sciences, our mission remains clear: to promote dialogue, exchange knowledge, and foster collaboration among healthcare stakeholders. We must be catalysts for change, harnessing the transformative potential of innovation and the strengthening collaboration that comes from working together. In the face of global health challenges, such as the ongoing pandemic, it is a collaboration that has proven to be our greatest asset. In closing, let us embrace this conference as an opportunity to learn, to share, and to forget meaningful connection. And let us be fearless in our pursuit of innovation and unwavering in our commitment to collaboration. And together we can make strides toward a brighter, healthier future for all. Thank you for your presence here today. And I look forward to witnessing the transformative power of innovation and collaboration in the day ahead. Let us make the 5th International Conference in Health Sciences a resounding success and a beacon of hope and healthcare worldwide. Thank you, and let the conference begin. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rifki Festiawan, SPD MPD, for the report. And next session is welcoming speech from Dean of Faculty of Health Sciences, Universitas Jenderal Soedirman. For Dr. Budi Aji, MSc, the time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning and a very warm greeting from Faculty of Health Sciences, Jenderal Soedirman University. The Honorable Representative from Ministry of Health, Prof. Laksono Trisnantoro. Selamat pagi, Sugeng Rawuh, Prof. Laks. The Honorable Speakers, Prof. Rosano Loksin, from Florida Atlantic University, USA. Prof. Alain Cole from University of Glasgow, UK. He will join via online. Dr. Kitty Srana Sorenpon from Mohidol University, Thailand. Dr. Carsten Dier from Dier International GmbH, Germany. Welcome in Purwokerto. My Deutsch is not good, that's why I'm using English at the moment. Dr. Siwi Pratama Mars Wijayanti, our colleagues from Jenderal Soedirman University. The Honorable Vice Rector for Planning and Collaboration of Jenderal Soedirman University, Dr. Walyo Handako. Terima kasih Pak WR berkenan hadir di sini. Honorable Deans, eminent scholars, guests, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all to the 5th International Conference in Health Sciences. Firstly, I would like to thank the experts for taking their precious time out and making this event. Secondly, I would want to thank my audience for being present here today. Before we begin with our today's session, please allow me to deliver a short speech in order to warm up everyone regarding today to be discussed key issues. Ladies and gentlemen, in this year's conference, whose main theme is strengthening collaboration and innovation for better healthcare, I expect that every participant will make a presentation on healthcare as well as collaboration opportunities and potential innovation on any aspect of healthcare facing its country, its place in the world, which would make us share our experience and knowledge for each other. I want you to understand the diversity and promote mutual understanding among the participants through this conference. So, I would like to pay my deepest respect to all participants for your positive participation in this conference. And I hope also that what you will learn through this conference will be a great success, not only as a chance to share knowledge and experience, but also the beginning for long and fruitful cooperation and friendship among fellows devoted to the most meaningful and worthwhile task of our future. Let me thank our fantastic speaker for giving their time and insight today. And I hope all of you watching enjoy this conference. Once again, thank you for your attention. Selamat pagi dan semoga saudara menikmati kegiatan conference ini. Terima kasih. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you to Dr. Budiaji for the excellent speech. The next speech, which also marks the official opening of the 5th International Conference in Health Sciences 2023, will be delivered by the Vice Rector of Planning, Collaboration and Public Relations, Universitas Jenderal Soedirman. Please welcome Dr. Waluyo Andoko, SIP and CSC. Thank you.
Bismillah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera, Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan. Please allow me to extend the warmest welcome to esteemed individual, Professor Laksono from Minister of Health of Indonesia, Vice Rector, Dean, Head of Institution, Director Postgraduate Program, our guest speaker, Prof. Rosano, Prof. Karsten, and Prof. Kitty. Good morning, welcome to Universitas Jenderal Soedirman. Head of UPT, Head of BPU, and Chairperson of SPI, all distinguished participants and presenter whom I cannot individually name present at this event. We express our gratitude and praise to the President of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, for by His grace we are gathering on this joyful morning in good health and well-being. Ladies and gentlemen, the suite of health education and healthcare service are undergoing rapid development. The emergence of COVID-19 pandemic has accelerated advance in technology and innovation within the healthcare sector. This global health crisis has imparted invaluable lessons and experiences to our healthcare system, underscoring the critical importance of interdisciplinary collaboration in optimizing healthcare provision to the populace. Furthermore, collaboration and innovation in the healthcare sector are paramount to supporting the achievement of sustainability development goal SDGs, especially SDGs number 3, which aim to ensure the healthy life and promote well-being for all at all ages. To that end, our gathering today signifies the 5th International Conference in Health Sciences to provide contact for our distinguished audience. ICHS is biannual international conference organized by Faculty of Health Sciences, Unsoed. This year, the theme of the 5th ICHS 2023 is strengthening collaboration and innovation for enhanced healthcare. This theme is in direct response to the global challenges posed by the post-COVID-19 healthcare landscape and to aim to support the realization of SDGs number 3. Ladies and gentlemen, as the Rector of Universitas Jenderal Soedirman, I represent the entire academic community of our institution. We are committed to continually contributing to the advancing of health education and healthcare service. Through the Faculty of Health Sciences, encompassing department in public health, nursing, pharmacy, nutrition, and physical education, the 5th ICHS 2023 serves as one of platforms to facilitate the dissemination of research outcome generated by Faculty of Health Sciences at Unsoed. We sincerely hope that this conference provides a platform for academics, researchers, policymakers, practitioner students, and all stakeholders in healthcare field to engage in discussion and present their latest research findings. We earnestly hope that the fifth ICHS 2023 will serve as a conduit for exposure of various innovation and foster collaboration among healthcare professionals. This innovation and collaboration are expected to enhance and fortify healthy education and healthy care services essentially to the global community. That concludes my remark for this occasion. In closing, I would like to officially open the 5th International Conference in Healthy Sciences 2023 with the theme Strengthening Collaboration and Innovation for Better Healthy Care. Once again, I extend a warm welcome, best wishes for productive engagement and successful discussion to all presenters and participants of the 5th ICHS 2023. May this event bring forth the benefit and blessing to us all. With grace and guidance of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, peace be upon you all. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
And to officially open the conference, please kindly Mr. Vice Rector to knock the gong and accompanied by Mr. Rifki and Mr. Dean. Okay, please give applause for the opening ceremony. And please stay on the stage because we would like to invite all the speakers of the conference to accept the award plaque from Vice Rector. So please come to the stage, Professor Laksono Trisnantoro, Professor Rozan Olskin, Professor Dr. Kitty Srana Saronpong, Mr. Karsten Diers, and Miss Siwi Pramatama Marswijayanti, PhD. So please kindly, Mr. Waluya Handoko to give the plaque to the speakers. And the one souvenir from Unsoed will be delivered by Mr. Dean. What to do? Oh, okay. Take a photo first. Okay, and the souvenirs will given. Again, once again to take a photo together, and please come to the stage, Dean of the Biology and Ibu Wahyuningrat dan Pak Endang Hilmi, silakan ke atas panggung Pak untuk foto bersama dengan pembicara. Dan Ibu WD1, Ibu WD2, Ibu WD3, Bapak WD3 maksud kami, silakan Pak Nanang, monggo. Dan okay, thank you for all speakers and invited guests. Okay, we express our deepest gratitude to Vice Rector of Planning, Collaboration and Public Relations Universitas Jenderal Soedirman, Dr. Waluya Handoko is IP MSc. And ladies and gentlemen, the conference has been officially opened by the Vice Rector of Universitas Jenderal Soedirman this morning. And next, we will go into the main agenda is the keynote speaker season.
The keynote speaker for the 5th International Conference 2023 is Professor Dr. Laksono Trisnantoro, MSc, PhD, Special Staff of the Minister of Health for the Pharmaceutical and Medical Device Industry Resiliency. Before we begin the keynote session, allow me to present a brief overview of Professor Laksono's CV. Education history from 1980 to 1987, medical doctor, Faculty of Medicine, Gadjah Mada University, Yogyakarta, Indonesia. 1988 to 1989, Master of Science in Health Economics, Department of Economics, University of York, United Kingdom. 1989 to 1993, PhD program in Health Policy Unit, London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine in a joint program with London School of Economics, University of London, UK. 2001 to 2002, postdoctoral Harvard Medical School, Department of Social Medicine, Boston, United States. 2006, Professor Gadjah Mada University, Indonesia. His publications, number 1, Yulianti S. Utarine A. Trishnataro, LA, a protocol study of participatory action research, integrated care pathway for pregnant women with heart disease in Indonesia. BMC Health Services Research 2020, December 21. Number 2, Elmi M. Sari D. Mela La A. Trishnatara L. Management of COVID-19 pandemic in the intensive care under scarce of resources with palliative care approach. Systematic reviews in pharmacy 2020. Number 3, challenges of shifting diabetes mellitus care from secondary to primary level care in urban and rural districts. A qualitative inquiry of health providers, Journal of Primary Care and Community Health, 2020, June.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in extending a warm welcome to our keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Laksono Trisnantoro, MSc PhD. We invite him to the stage at this time and this place.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Selamat pagi. Salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Om Swastiastu. In the beginning, I will make apology that the minister is still at the US for a conference, so he is not able to come to this very important meeting. And I'm trying to replace him for this opening or the keynote speech. Yeah. For the rector or the vice rector, the dean, my old friend, Dr. Budiaji, yes. The distinguished speakers and participants and all of the organizing committee, I'm very happy to be here for presenting my paper on health policy and governance. And this is the things that we have to be in mind, that for ensuring effective healthcare system, I think we have to look back at how is our health policy and governance. So, can we change the slide? Yeah, click. Yeah, siapa mas ya? Yeah, click. Okay. Previously, the MC announce or presents my paper, and this paper actually the examples of how the themes of strengthening collaboration and innovation in healthcare should be done. And this strengthening and collaboration needs very, very good basis of health system. And that's why we have to look back at the health policy and governance issue, and then how to reform healthcare for make it more effective. And then lastly, for the overseas participants and speakers, last month we just passed a new act on health. It's like an omnibus law. It's a gigantic law. It's more than 450 clauses, and the regulations below the law is around 1,200 clauses. It's a big, big law. Okay, so I will talk these three parts of the themes. Okay, let's start with health policy and governance. Click this. Okay, so when we are talking about health policy and governance, we have to look back at who are the owners of this science. So this is the science of political scientists. And it is not only medical or health sciences, but I think we have to go to, I don't know, in Unsoed, you have the political science faculty, is that right? FISIPOL. And actually, these things we borrow from this faculty. Yeah. It is not our medical or health sciences, but it is from the political sciences. Yes, slide please. So we look at what is the policy. So a number of decisions made by those responsible for a particular policy area. And we have to look at the public policy that is made by the government or state, or maybe district here or provincial, and then health policy. This is the things that we are concerned of. Everything to influence the determining factors in that sector in order to improve the quality of public health. Yeah. This is the things, the health policy. Yes, slide please. And then why health policy is important? Yes, we just survived from the big pandemic, COVID-19, and we are, I think we are very, very clear that this pandemic is very devastating, and then the global economy is suffering from this pandemic. Okay, and then health is very important because it is related to the life cycle of human from birth to death, and this is a very important issue for everybody in the world. And then also health can be influenced by pollution at the moment in Jakarta, poverty, yeah. So many things that can influence health, and then we have to think that health is very, very important to have more better health for productivity. And then policy in health is very important for selecting health technology. We understand that the progress and the development of technology is so fast, and we need more like a political acceptance and also technological acceptance on how we have to deal with the progress of technology. So I think it's very important. Okay, slide please. And then we have to look at the policy process, and this is the things that we borrow from the Faculty of Political Sciences, that at the moment we have the policy formulations, the Undang-Undang Kesehatan after agenda setting, and it was very, very interesting that the process of making the law is so controversial. And everybody in this room, I think, understands about how the protests and the contrast and the pros of the law. And then now we start for the policy implementations, and this should be monitored and evaluated. And this is also the role of university, like in Universitas Soedirman in Purwokerto. Slide please. Now look back to the issue of governance. Yeah. And then this is the things that in the law we also focuses on how the role of the government, especially in the stewardship role, how to governing and managing healthcare and coordinating other actors engaged in health policy formulation and its implementations. So when we look back at this definition, we can understand that health sector is very complicated and so many actors. And how to make these actors becoming in one vision, in one direction, this is the role of how the governance system of health can be organized. And this is the role of the government is very, very important. Slide please. So there are some governance functions. We have to look at back to the strategic policy framework. And this is the things that we have to rely or we have to hold firmly the government policy, including presidential policy of how the Indonesians as a country should be directed. And we can understand that in Indonesians state framework, we have the long-term plan, we have also the middle plan, and then also the annual plan. So how the government functions can carry out effective supervisions of this plan, building coalitions among maybe controversial issues be debated by many stakeholders, draw up regulations that good enough, and then pay attention to health system design and increase accountability. This is the things that we have to remember about the governance function. Slide, please. So now we can see who are the actors in health system governance. Yes, we can see the government itself, and then private organizations, NGOs, and also members of community. And if you look back to the issue of the state law, we have to remember that actually government is the side that make regulations in the governance. Yes, slide please. And we have some main function of government. The government is to govern. It's very important. Government is to govern. And then in this function, how to make public policies and regulations, how to control the healthcare system, and then how to ensure the effectiveness and the equity of healthcare. And this is the role or the function of the government. Yes, that please. So if you look at back to the dictionary, to govern means to control and be responsible for the public business of a country, state, city, or other organized group, or to have a direct effect or controlling influence on something. And this role can be small or little, or can be big, great, or maybe dominating. So we have like a spectrum of how the function of the government. We can see that some of the so-called failure state, the government function is zero. So maybe life is controlled by civil society, or maybe in the better term, by the underground organizations or the mafia, something like that. But we can see also in some countries, we have very strong government that is becoming very totalitarian, maybe dictatorships. Yeah. So we have many grades of government function. Yeah. Slide, please. So look at this actually how life is governed by governance system. We have understand that there are some professionals like pilots, specialists, and comedians. And then we have the provider of services, the airlines, the hospitals, and Streamlabs. I think you remember if you are overseas, Streamlabs is a group of comedians that they have a regular show in Surabaya, in Jakarta, but now they already like bankrupt, no more comedian show. Yeah. Okay. So when we look at in this sector, we can see that the regulatory and control should be very strong in the airlines business and also in the hospitals business. Okay. Who are the units of the government who control the healthcare? And this is back to the issue of the ministry function. And in health, this is under the Ministry of Health or Authority. Okay. Slide, please. Now, we can see that before the current law, actually before 2023, frankly speaking, in Indonesia, government has limited power in regulating and controlling health system. Yes, this is the point that we are looking back to the past. The health system is not so effective, efficient, and equitable because it is somehow the government is not in full control in health system sector. That is the point before 2023. Okay, slide please. That's why now we go to the new era of how to reform the health system, becoming for more effective, efficient, and more equitable. And this is the things that we have to look at the theory of healthcare reform. Okay, slide please. So, healthcare reform is defined as sustained, purposeful change to improve the efficiency, equity, and effectiveness of the health sector. This definition is written 25 years ago by people in Harvard University, in the World Bank, and WHO. And actually, it is used for not only health sector, but for every sector in the world, also in political, in business, and many things. But we use also in health sector. Slide, please. And then in this the classic way of describing how the reform is, Harvard University make like a health system that consists of many knobs, financing, payment, organizations, regulation, behavior that can be controlled one by one, or simultaneously all of the knobs is controlled by one policy. To make efficiency, quality, and access becoming better, and the target population's health status, customer satisfaction, and risk protection is becoming better. These are the performance goals. Slide, please. Yes, slide. And these are the objectives. We have the intermediate objective: access and coverage, quality and safety, generating new resources of funding for the services, and also legal certainty. And the ultimate objective are improving health status and equity across the provinces and districts, increasing responsiveness, increasing catastrophic protection, and improving efficiency. So these are the objective of health sector reform. But again, all the knobs should be managed together. Yeah, slide please. And we have the health reform cycle from identifying the problem, diagnosing the causes, developing plan, and then this is getting political approval in form of the law, and then implement and monitoring and evaluating. The question is, before 2023, is there any healthcare reform in Indonesia? Okay, slide please. So if you look at in the history from 1984, more than 10 laws on health. So now it's 2023 is more than 30 years, 25 years, yeah. Okay, so there are so many laws in health. And we can understand that the law was done by maybe the Suharto government, yes, or in the early of reformations in 2004, and then in the decentralized system. And then if you look back to who are the lawmakers from many political parties, many presidential time. So that means there is no coherency, no single vision of so many laws in health. Okay, slide please. So the fact that health system still was not good, and there's no history of healthcare reform in Indonesia. That is the point that I would like to make in this presentation, that since before 2023, we didn't have any healthcare reform using our law in Indonesia. So many laws, so many things, and it has spanned about 30 years of activities. Yeah, slide. Slide, please. Now, last part. So we have the Healthcare Law 2023 as a reform policy in health. Slide, please. Yeah. Now, we now understand that the first sector mentioned about COVID. So, the Ministry of Health Strategy during the COVID area, 2020 to 2024, there are 3 activities or missions from the President. One, accelerating vaccination. Secondly, ending the pandemic as soon as possible. 3, reforming health system. These are the 3 missions that MOH should address. Sorry, I have to pick my water. Yes, there are three missions that the President ordered the minister. And then if you look at the first and the second mission already accomplished. Yeah. So now we are doing the third mission to reform the health system. And this is very important issue. We have so many lessons learned from the COVID-19 pandemic. But we also to face the problem of financing. It's not easy for the future to have health financing in a good position, because actually for controlling or for eradicating or for terminating the pandemic, Indonesian government, we have to borrow resources from overseas lenders. That is the point, okay? And then we have to improve the health system weaknesses. That is the things that face our health strategy in reforming the health system. Slide, please. So, we have the health reform led by the Ministry of Health, consists of some issues. One is primary health strengthening, and then improving the curative program system, including drug and medical services, medical devices. Third, strengthening resilience of the health system, supported by sustainable and equitable health financing, digital transformation, and talented human resources. So you can see that in this objective, there are some issues that should be controlled or monitored together. It is a real challenge that needs the concept of healthcare reform. Slide, please. So, from the pre-pandemic health system, we have many lessons learned from COVID-19 pandemic, and then how to transform becoming a post-pandemic health system. It's not easy, but it is something that we have to learn. Because actually when we have a crisis, when we have a big pandemic like this, a strong nation is the nation that can learn from the experiences and then using the lesson learned from the pandemic to the future. That is the point. So in this reform, there are so many things learned from the pandemic and then used for the future health system. Slide, please. And we have to make it fast. That is the point. Like from caterpillar becoming a butterfly, the reform should be transformed in a fast way of doing things. We cannot wait for the next 10 years, but we have to start now. That is the point. Slide, please. So this is the House of Health Transformation by MOH. So we can see that in the roof, the vision of the president about how to make our nations becoming healthy, productive, and self-paid, and also equitable. And then there are 6 pilots for transformation, from primary services, secondary, and then for medical devices and pharmaceutical, for health system resilience. And then the fundamental pillars is the health financing, human resources, and technology. So this make the house of transformation. Yes, slide, please. The question is whether transformation will work. Yes, maybe yes, or maybe no. So without a strong legal basis, transformation cannot take place. Again, before 2023, the role of government, the authority of government, it was still weak. Yeah. And then the nature of omnibus law provides an opportunity to create a coherent laws and also bring the government becoming more powerful or having authority in health sector. That is the point. Yes. Slide, please. So we try more than 10, 11 laws then will be already merged, yeah, and make a new omnibus law, but still BPJS and SCSN law is not put into the new law. We have 10, 11 laws, but SCSN and BPJS law is not in this omnibus law. Okay, slide. And one important issue that is very, very strong message that the role of government is to govern is becoming one central thing that in this law, the government believe without strengthening the government roles in health sector governance, the effectiveness of health policy will be difficult to guarantee. Yeah, that is the point. Yeah, slide, please. And if you look at back to the history, there's like a pendulum. In the left, to govern authority is transferred to the society. And then in the right one is totally in the government. Slide, please. And this is the history. From the colonial time of the Dutch government, we have the Dutch government is very strong, it was very strong. And then in the period of medical practice law, 2004 to 2023, actually the government has less power compared to the civil society. And then in this new law, yes, we try to have like balancing. Yeah. Okay, slide please. The objective is to able to formulate policy that provide solution to health and implement them better. Okay, so by having a greater authority, it is hoped that the very complex of health policy law can be organized and implemented. That is the point. Okay, slide please. As a closing, now we have a reformist health policy, the health laws, and it was enacted in August 2023. And then the law at the moment is already implemented, but still in the beginning. And the law needs to be monitored and evaluated. And then the higher education institutions should be involved in monitoring and evaluating. Okay, and I will take some time for commenting on this seminar themes. So in this law, after the government authority is written back to the what should be its place, then we can look at how to strengthening and the collaboration and innovation. Like in diabetes mellitus, for example, we can see that diabetes mellitus is a very complex disease and should be supported by many actors. Yeah. From the promotion side, preventive, primary care, secondary care, until tertiary care. Okay, so it is like from end-to-end activities, and it should be, again, back to the issue, supported by enough financial support, supported by talented human resources, supported by a good technology and informatics system, and also it's very important, this is how the collaboration across private and public entity, across national level, provincial, and district level. And this is the things that I'm very, very grateful that Universitas Soedirman used the terms of strengthening collaboration and innovation in this seminar. Terima kasih sekali dan selamat berseminar atas dengan semangat, ya. Dan saya berharap betul, and I hope that the seminar will produce many practical solutions, and then also look at the law for the legal basis of solution. Thank you very much. Terima kasih sekali atas undangannya. Sampai bertemu lagi. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Prof. Dr. Laksono Trisnantoro, and please kindly to stay on the stage because we will awarding the certificate from Dean of the Faculty Health Science, Mr. Budiaji. Oh, okay. We express our gratitude to Prof. Dr. Laksono Trisnantoro, MSc PhD, for being our keynote speaker this morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, the event is sponsored by Batik Antor Jamil, Kimia, Pharma, Warda, Max, Karita, PT Duta Elok Persada.
And we will play the sponsorship video. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this conference is sponsored by Batik Anto Jamil, Kimia Farma, Wardah, Marx, Carita, PT Duta Elo Persada, and Diers International GmbH, Germany. Next agenda is the plenary session 1, and plenary session 1 will feature two exceptional speakers who are experts in their respective fields. They are first Professor Rosano Loxin from Florida Atlantic University, USA, and the second is Miss Siwi Pramatama Marswijayanti PhD from Universitas Jenderal Soedirman. This plenary session will be moderated by Ms. Hikmi Moharomah Pratiwi SKEP NS. Before we start, please allow me to present a brief overview of Ms. Hikmi Moharomah Pratiwi SKEP NS CV, and Ms. Hikmi Moharomah Pratiwi SKEP NS accomplished the Bachelor of Nursing Science in Gadjah Mada University, Yogyakarta in 2007 until 2011, and then continuing the professional nurse in the same university, Gadjah Mada University, Yogyakarta, 2011 until 2012, and then continuing the Master of Nursing Science in 2016 until 2018 in National Cheng Kung University, Taiwan, and the publication is first skin-to-skin contact and parental stress among parents with preterm infant during NICU admissions review, published in Journal of Bionursing 2023, and the publications, the second is the effect of health education on the prevention of musculoskeletal disorders towards knowledge, attitudes, and healthy behaviors of adolescents in Purwakarta.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving a warm welcome to our moderator, Professor Unita Sari SKEP NS MHS PhD. Please welcome her on stage.
And Ibu Yunasari will give a certificate first for the speakers. The international certificate will give by Professor Unitasari to the speakers. So first we invite Professor Rosano Loxin from Florida Atlantic University, and Ms. Sivi Pramatama Marswijayanti PhD as these speakers in plenary session 1. Take photo first. Mas photograph. Dah. The second awarding for Ms. Sivi Pramatama Marswijayanti PhD from Professor Unitasari. Thank you, Prof. Unitasari, and please come to the stage, Ms. Hikmi Moharomah, to be moderated in this plenary session 1. And for Prof. Unitasari, please come to the seat.
Check. Okay. Thank you very much for MC for the great introduction. Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The Honorable of the Representative of Ministry of Health of Indonesia, and the Honorable of the University leaders, and the Honorable of the Faculty leaders, and the Honorable of our speaker today, and the Honorable of all conference participants in Krishna Ballroom, and also in Zoom meeting. Okay, welcome to our first plenary session of the 5th International Conference in Health Sciences, or ICHS, that organized by Faculty of Health Sciences, Universitas Jenderal Soedirman. And I am Hikmi Muharomah Pratiwi, who are serving as a moderator in this first session. Okay, before that, I would like to say thank you so much for the committee for this valuable opportunity. Well, before we welcome all speakers of this session, I would like to announce some information. The first, the session will be held in panel discussion, and for each speaker has 40 minutes to deliver presentation. And the second one, for the audience who want to ask, please deliver directly the questions at the Q&A session. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now we invite our first speaker. Our first speaker is Professor Rosano Siloksin, RM, PhD Fund. He is Professor Emeritus from Florida Atlantic University, Christine Eileen College of Nursing, and also he is also Professor Emeritus from Tokushima University, Japan. Before that, I would like to read his curriculum vitae. Here we can see. Okay, so for Professor Rosano Siloksin, RM, PhD Fund, he authored the Middle Range Theory of Technological Competency as Caring in Nursing that has been published in Sigma Theta Tau International Press. And also, Professor Laksin achieved in a bachelor and master degree in nursing from College of Nursing, Silliman University, Philippines. And then he continued his doctoral degree at the University of the Philippines and graduates in 1988. And also he has nursing practice professional experiences in several countries, such as in Republic of Philippines, State of Texas, State of New York, US, State of Florida, Thailand, and Uganda. And also there are several publications. Actually, he already published more than 100 articles, and for the last article is about the technological medicine and artificial intelligence. And here, he also was awarded many competitive research grants, and the latest grant is from Grant in Aid for Scientific Research, or CACEN, and also from USAID. Okay, so it is so inspiring, Professor Laksin. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big applause and warm welcome for our speaker, Professor Rosano Siloksin, RM, PhD Fund. Please kindly come forward to the stage. Okay. Good morning, Professor Laksin. Okay. Welcome to Indonesia and welcome to Purwokerto. It's really nice to meet you again because yesterday we already met in the Datar village, and it is our pleasure to having you in this conference. Before we start, maybe I would like to invite our second speaker first. Okay, for ladies and gentlemen, we will invite our second speaker. For our second speaker is a beautiful lecturer from our faculty, Mrs. Siwi Pratama Marswijayanti, PhD. Before that, I would like to read curriculum vitae of Dr. Siwi first. Mrs. Siwi Wijayanti, PhD, is a faculty member of Public Health Department, Faculty of Health Sciences, Universitas Jenderal Soedirman, and she achieved a bachelor degree from Universitas Jenderal Soedirman, and then she continued her master degree in tropical medicine, Universitas Gadjah Mada, and then she studied her doctoral degree and graduated from University of Glasgow, United Kingdom. And then, beside a lecturer, she is active as editor-in-chief in Psych in Public Health Journal, become editor in several journal publisher, and become a head of the research ethics of Faculty of Health Sciences. And also, she has research interest in mosquito-borne disease. And for her latest published article, the title is Assessing the User Satisfaction on COVID-19 Vaccination Service in Indonesia, that has been published in June 2023. And lastly, she already authored 3 books, with the last book about disease factors and factor control. So, ladies and gentlemen, please give a big applause and warm welcome to our second speaker, Mrs. Siwi Pratama Mars Wijayanti, PhD. Okay, good morning, Dr. Siwi. Thank you for your willingness as speaker for this conference. It is very pleasure to us to having you in this conference. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now we come into the first speaker session with Professor Rosano Siloksin. And this occasion, Professor Loksin will present the topic about technology as nursing intervention grounded in the theory of technological competency as caring in the nursing. So, Professor Loksin, you have 40 minutes to deliver your speech. Time and place is yours.
Okay, good morning. Thank you very much for that introduction. And selamat pagi. I'm not comfortable sitting and presenting, but I'll do my best. I usually stand, all right? So, yeah, I would, right? But then, let me see, I cannot have the, but anyway, it's okay, all right? I'll manage, all right? Hopefully. So, that's a disclaimer, by the way, all right? So, if there's anything that will happen, it's not my fault. No, okay, anyway, so may I have, okay, thank you. All right, so I was given the task, and terima kasih for inviting me here. I'm very honored to be at Purwokerto. Right, this is my first time to be here. So the topic for today is interesting to me because it is one of the things that I am very concerned about: the influence of technology on healthcare. Right. And it is just timely that we have this particular conference today. So technology, as you will know, I'm a nurse, and my expertise is nursing. Right? And so this presentation is all about nursing and the theory of technological competency as caring in nursing. Now we asked the question, so what is the role of technology in healthcare? Right? So many times, actually, the theory was published by Sigma Theta Tau International Honor Society Press in 2005, but it did not gain any traction. It was slowly being read, right? And in 2009, the book was translated into Japanese by Dr. Tetsuya Tanioka. And so it has been used in Japan, and let me see. It is now on its 5th printing. We printed 3,000 copies every time it's printed, but now it's on the 5th printing session. Also, I'm very happy to inform you that Dr. Fanny Betriana, who is now a lecturer at Prince of Songkla University, has translated the book into Bahasa in Tunisia. So it is available, all right? So if any of you would be interested, please let me know, or you can contact Dr. Betriana. That's a plug, by the way, so in case you're interested. And I hope my presentation today would make that possible, okay? Slide, please. Oh, sorry, I have the thing here. Where do I point this? There? Where? Over there? Okay. All right. So anyway, so these are the objectives, okay? At the end of the presentation, the participants will be able to appreciate the images of nurses and nursing. I'd like to focus on the images of nurses and nursing, preferably globally, but also in Indonesia, right? And describe technologies and artificial intelligence in healthcare, define robots and robotics in nursing. We are moving into the era where we call it the Anthropocene, right? Where human beings are now dominating the world, right? So we have this influence, and thankfully we still have the responsibility of making these robots work for us, right? So we are now looking at humanoid nurse robots, and almost at the end of my presentation, I will show you how humanoid nurse robots are actually influencing human healthcare, right? So describe how nursing can be practiced in order to remain relevant in the new era. We human nurses must remain relevant, and nursing itself must be relevant, right? Otherwise, we will be replaced, right, by something that may not be what nursing is supposed to be, right? And I will explain the theory of technological competency as caring in nursing. So these are the objectives for this presentation today. Now, the ultimate purpose is to look at how it can strengthen collaboration and innovation to better healthcare, right? So let's see how it goes, and please, during the open forum, I would appreciate if you will have more questions and probably clarifications so that I may be able to do that, right? Okay. So these are the images. Many times, the images of the nurses is nursing is doing, right? So we do things. So the focus is task completion. So we complete nursing activities, and that's what nursing is, okay? That is what nursing is supposed to be. Nursing is a profession and care, and is mostly women. I am so happy in Indonesia, I'm looking at 2 or 3 heads of nursing, right, who are men, not to diminish the value of women, all right? And many times we should say men nurses and women nurses, not male or female, right? Because we say a male cat, a male dog, right? But we should say women and not female nurses, okay? So let's change the nomenclature, right? Okay. So nursing associated with past images such as the lady with the lamp, and that is thanks to Florence Nightingale, right? Okay. And nursing practice is about following physician's orders. Right, I was so happy to see the dean of the Faculty of Medicine being here earlier, right? And so the interest in knowing how nurses can function effectively as responsible for human health care, okay? Not just only physicians. And the idea of having health care rather than medical care, right? So we are all parts of health care. Medicine, nursing, physical therapy, OT is part of health care, right? Not medical care, right? All right, those were perspectives years ago, 50, 60 years ago, okay? So therefore, in the public image, the nursing identity seems to be a simple and straightforward concept, but there is more to nursing than these images. That is what I'm trying to figure out, present today. So, I'm sorry, it's very small, right? But these are just some of the definitions of what nursing is, right? From Florence Nightingale, right? We put the person in the best possible position for nursing to take its course. That is how we theoretically say that nursing is the environment, okay? We think that Nightingale's theory is environmental theory. But Nightingale did not really say that, right? Okay, so whoever did that, well, thank you, right? But it is putting the person in the best possible position for nature to take its course. So that's probably the beginning of what we mean by holistic nursing practice, right? So nursing encompasses autonomous, very important, and collaborative care of individuals of all ages and in all settings. Your license to practice nursing is not licensed to practice in the hospital, right? That is simply hospital nursing. There are other settings for practicing nursing, okay? So please do not limit yourself. Actually, we should claim some of the problems because we socialize students to hospitals, okay? We bring them to the hospitals first. Well, that is not all that is nursing, okay? That's just one of the settings where nursing can occur. So Indonesia Nursing Act, number 38 of 2014, regulates the profession of nursing in Indonesia. It aims to improve the quality of nursing services and ensure that nurses are competent and ethical in their practice. A very vague and general description of what nursing is according to the Indonesian Nursing Act. Okay? All right, so nursing is defined by the ICN. We all know what it is, so I'll not belabor that. But the American Nurses Association, 21st century nursing is the glue, right? It used to be nursing is the nurses coordinated the care, but now it's the glue that holds a patient's health care journey, right? So a patient from admission to discharge, right, and rehabilitation, for example, starts with nursing, okay? All right, so across the entire patient experience, so we focus on patient experiences. So beyond the time-honored reputation for compassion and dedication, right, lies a highly specialized profession, right? Remember, we study nursing for at least 4 years, right? And we don't want to end up simply following orders of others, okay? We have our own science, we have our own responsibilities, and we should use that in our practice. We have a responsibility, a professional responsibility to continue our education. That's where continuing education comes in, okay? Nursing can be described as both an art and a science, right? And a heart and a mind. At its heart lies a fundamental respect for human dignity and an intuition for a patient's needs. Okay, this is supported by the mind and the form of rigorous care, learning. Right. So technology-driven innovations, and I'm glad we have representatives from how do you pronounce that? Diers or Dyers? Diers. Okay, all right. So I saw some of the presentations you had earlier. It's all about technology, simulations, and how we can improve human patient care. And thank you for that, because that is where the world is going. Okay, and with human science and with nursing, right, we have a responsibility to understand and use this in our practice. Okay, all right. So in the past decade, there was more than 180% rise in health tech and digital health investments, and over 230% increase in pharmaceuticals and biotech investments. U.S. healthcare is expected to top $5.34 trillion, shifting the healthcare industry's focus to value-based care from volume-based care. Okay? So 9 emerging technologies, and I hope you will consider this, 9 emerging technologies from the McKinsey report. You have connected and cognitive devices, electroceuticals, targeted and personalized medicine, robotics, 3D printing, okay, big data and analytics, artificial intelligence, blockchain, and robotic process automation. Right? Each of these emerging technologies are influencing human health care, and we should all be reading about it, understanding what it is, and how we can contribute in our practice. Okay? So technologies that are transforming nursing, we all are familiar with electronic health records, mobile communication systems, patient-generated health data systems, right? You have devices, you have smartphones, smartwatches, right? And I think many of you are wearing some of those right now, right? You have smartwatches, okay? Real-time location systems, and I think this is very important, especially for patients with Alzheimer's, right? Alzheimer's disease. They wander, and so you will have to use these devices so that you can locate them, okay? And so they will not get lost, okay? And then smart alarm technology, and I think we should be focusing on this. And I believe there's a Master of Science in Nursing program at Universitas Jenderal, Soedirman. You have a Master of Science that focuses on technology-driven care, right? So development and utilization, right? So that is very interesting to me, and I appreciate you having that. So we should be looking at alarm, smart alarm technology. Now, we tend to forget, especially in intensive care units, right? We tend to forget that patients are lying there, they cannot do anything, but they're hearing all the alarms, all the nurses talking, all the physicians talking, and that the alarms are going, right? But we have to understand that this may be uncomfortable for these patients, okay? So smart alarm technology to reduce false alarms and to make the patient be more comfortable. So these are some of the definitions that you can read about. What is a robot? A robot is actually an anthropomorphic intelligent machines. So these are humanoid robots, for that matter. Not all robots are anthropomorphic. Okay, anthropomorphic meaning it has a human-like physiognomy or presence. Okay, so robots, humanoid or androids, automaton. Now I like this statement simply because it looks at human beings who do not think, right? Or I would say nurses who just do whatever they like in institutions are actually or can be classified as automatons because they don't think. That's supposed to be a joke, right? So, but nonetheless, we can see them. Okay, so intelligent machines, we use deep learning systems, and that is at the heart of recent breakthroughs in AI. We don't use general AI anymore. We have general systems or super intelligence AI. Okay. All right, so these are the primary roles for care robots, not only humanoid robots, okay? So reduction in workload, that is the ultimate purpose of having robots in our healthcare systems. We want to reduce the time, how do we say, for nurses spending on activities that can be done as routine, okay? All right, so routinary things. We should be able to reduce that by having healthcare robots. For example, transporting specimens. Now we have robots that can take the specimen from the patient and bring it to the laboratory. We now have pneumatic systems. Nurses can just put it inside this pneumatic system. It is brought directly to the laboratory. Dispensing of medicines. We now have robots that can move from the pharmacy to the patient unit. Okay, so these are all robotic systems that includes artificial intelligence in order to reduce activities for the purpose of having nurses spend more time with patients. Okay, because the patient is the focus of our care, so we should be spending more time with these patients. Ah. Yeah, I'm putting it back. Reverse. Previous. Previous slide. Okay, very good. Thank you. All right. Okay, so these are some of the dimensions of healthcare that I'd like us to understand. Okay, I classified all of them, and most of them, into three. You have technology as completer of human beings, right? Technology as machine technologies, and technologies that mimic human beings. And so if you recall, all the technologies that are available can fit in these three categories, right? And so we were talking about activities that we can reduce. So I have one example for you, and this is a robot, a healthcare robot that can do bed bath, right? That's one of the activities that nurses do, right? So can you just try to play it? It's still rudimentary, but this is being developed by Georgia Tech in the US. So let's see if it can work. So it can do your face cloth, right? It can do wipe your hands and etc. Just like how we do it, okay? But it can be better. But it's being developed now, all right? So nurses may not be doing bed bath anymore. We will have robots doing it, okay? So the question will be, will patients allow robots to give bed baths, to give them bed baths? That's a good research study, right? Okay, let me see. All right, so this is healthcare robots and the future of nursing. Dr. Tanioka of Tokushima University has published a book. Actually, I am one of the supervising editors. Nursing robots for older persons, and this is the target. Okay, considering the idea of singularity, right, where the human and the technology can reach a level where it can surpass being a human being. So the target in the future, right? I can't read. Okay, is maybe 2050 or 2040, right? And so we are now 2023. So in the next couple of years, or maybe 10 years, a decade, we will have something that is alive with intelligence. We will have machines that are becoming intelligent, with sensors that are highly sensitive, all right, and even skin-like coverings, so that we will understand that in fact this is much like a human being. Okay. And so it's one thing that I would like to emphasize is, if you look at the upper right hand, all right, corner, if nursing practice is simply doing. Remember, that's one of the images that we have. Completion of tasks, for example. Right? Humanoid nurse robots can practice nursing in more efficient, precise, and predictable ways. So the implication here is, where will human nurses be? Okay? If we have humanoid nurse robots who can do all these tasks and complete them efficiently, effectively, right? So the implication here as well is, so what then is nursing administered by human nurses, right? And how can we remain relevant in the future? Okay, so we have to think about that. Okay. So this brings me to the theory of technological competency as caring in nursing. This is actually my answer to the age-old question of what should nursing do in order for us to remain relevant in the future. We should be using theory-based practice. And thankfully, in 2020, we came to understand the value of technology and how nursing has become effective in the practice given the COVID-19 pandemic, right? So everyone was focusing on technology, and thankfully there was this theory that was available, and so now it's gaining more ground in the utilization of nursing and nurses, all right? So there are 5 assumptions, right? And I hope we can really focus on these ones. Persons are caring by virtue of their humanness. The ideal of wholeness is a perspective of oneness. Knowing persons is a multidimensional process. Technologies of healthcare and nursing are elements for caring. And nursing is a discipline and a profession. So persons are caring by virtue of their humanness. The idea here is that all of us are caring persons, right? And the focus of nursing is to know who we are as caring persons. So we do everything we can in order to know the person as caring persons, because they are, and we are caring persons. So that is what our nursing is supposed to be. So some people would say, how about the murderers? How about the thieves? Right? Then your question would be, my answer would be, they are all caring persons regardless. Okay? However, their expression of caring is not the same as our expression of caring. Okay? So we are all caring persons because we are human beings. But their expression is different. Right? Much is like our technological competency is an expression of caring in nursing. Okay? All right. Okay. And the wholeness, the perspective is that we always remain whole, regardless of missing parts. It's a philosophical perspective. Because if I was going to ask you, if you see a person without an arm, is that person a human being? Right? It's still a human being. He or she is a human being. So regardless of parts, the person remain whole. Right? It's just a philosophical view that if the person is missing something, traditionally we complete the person. And so in nursing, we have theories like Orem's self-care deficit theory. So how do nurses practice nursing? Using Orem's theory, we complete, okay? We compensate, compensatory nursing, partially compensatory, and educative supportive. That is how nurses will practice nursing using Orem's theory. Okay, all right. But I will have my own. This theory will have its own practice process, and I'll explain that later. Okay. So actually, this is. I'm sorry. There are 3 processes, right, in this theory. So I call them technological knowing. So we use all the technologies available. All right, in order for us to know the person more fully as caring person. So we use the BP apparatus, right? We use the thermometers so that we come to know who is this person and what is this person. Okay, and then mutual designing, because we have all these technologies, the patient or the person being cared for and the nurse will now plan a care. Okay, 50, 60 years ago, nurses were the ones planning for the patient. Okay, so we tend to know what the patient is all about, right? But those gone were the days. If you notice, patients are now able to access the internet, and they will know more about this medication and that medication, this treatment and that treatment than you do. So we have to be abreast. So we have to include them in our plan of care. Then it becomes more meaningful, right? All right. So participative engaging. So in doing so, they will participate. They will be involved, right? Because the ultimate purpose of technological competency as caring in nursing is to know persons more fully as caring person. So that is why we use technologies, okay? All right. So this is a monodimensional perspective, right? I tried to use the Mobius. I know those who are interested in mathematics. The Mobius is a structure, mathematical structure that shows there is no beginning and no end. And the reason for this is because gone were the days when we say, that's okay, I already know this patient, okay? Now that patient will change from moment to moment. Remember that, okay? So the moment you take the blood pressure, the next moment that blood pressure will change. Okay? So they're always moving. Human beings are unpredictable. The moment they become predictable, you can say, oh, this person must be a robot. Okay? Because they're predictable. But human beings are unpredictable. Okay? Right now, I don't know what you guys are thinking. Right? All right. Maybe you're asking yourself, is this food delicious? Right? Instead of listening to me. Right? So, but that's okay. Right? Okay. All right. Okay. So, okay. Can you point in the middle? Up? No. Don't do that. You see? Back. No. Forward. In the back. Back. Okay, wait. Put the cursor in the middle. Put the cursor on the middle and then click. Yes. There you go. Okay, thank you. All right. Okay, so this shows the movement, okay? And so this is I'm sorry you cannot read the story. This is intensive care, but let me read it for you, okay? So this is a story between the nurse and the person being nursed, okay? Actually, it has some music, okay? If you can put the volume up a little bit. Hello? Can you put the volume up a little bit? No. Okay, it's all right. So did you see, nurse, that you can know me? The part that is me, my mind and soul is in my eyes. These tubes that are everywhere, that is not me. The one in my throat is the worst of all. Now my whole being, the essence of me, I must reflect through my hands, but they are all tied down. But did you realize that it is uncomfortable for me, or through my eyes and you do not notice them? You speak to me and look at the tubes. Don't you know my thoughts are all over my face? Don't you know? Don't you realize that your thoughts are on your face? I wrote a request on paper, and you said, I'll take care of it for you. But your tone said, why can't this woman do anything for herself? Right? You positioned your hand to count my pulse, but I can say you touched me. You wouldn't touch my hand that I may hold you. Okay? Don't you see, nurse, that you can know me? I'm not a chart or tubes of medication, monitors, or all the other things you look at intently. I'm more than that. I'm scared. Just look in my eyes. Right? So this is a conversation between the nurse and the person in the intensive care unit. Right? Okay. So this is another story, right? This is now more towards the technology. So one of my patients requested a new IV, even though the one she had was safely infusing her IV fluids. I was extremely busy, but I knew that her IV would not get changed until much later, if at all. A shift change was occurring, and she did not have veins that were easily accessed. I requested for the vein finder instrument, and I think we all have, we know what is the vein finder, right? Okay, all right. My patient was so happy and told me that no one else had been able to get a vein on my first try. It seemed like a simple task, but it made such a difference to her. I can appreciate that through the competent use of the vein finder instrument, I was able to allow my patient to use her dominant hand instead of limiting her range of motion because of the IV location. So explanatory analysis, so she was able to live a more whole and meaningful life through the use of her dominant hand. This was so simple an act, but so moment-changing for her and also for me. So, technological knowing, right? Competent and knowledgeable use of the viewfinder, mutual designing, shared relationship during the IV insertion, and expressed in oneness with a mutual appreciation of a life-changing situation, which is the participative engaging. Okay? So you will ask, where is catheterization? Where is bed bath? Well, those are ways by which you can achieve things as well. All right? but they're not the nursing. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. So these are some of the research topics that I'd like us to really focus on. Now, when we do nursing research, we should be doing research on nursing phenomena, not biological phenomena, not physiological phenomena, not healthcare phenomena, not chemical phenomena. Okay, it should be nursing phenomena. And for this theory, we have two: being cared for and caring for. All right? Oh, sorry. Can you put it back? Oh, no. Back. Back, please. Back. Okay. Thank you. All right. So you have experiences of nurses caring for persons with technologies, right? So this is from the nurse's perspective, caring for persons who have technologies. What are the examples of these patients? Patients in intensive care unit with all the tubes, right? Or patients who are on rehabilitation or are walking with pacemakers, for example, biosynthetic pancreas, artificial legs, artificial ears, okay? So these are examples of nurses caring for these persons, okay? So what is it like to care for a person who have a pacemaker? What is it like to care for persons who are in intensive care units attached to all these technologies, right? So we don't know, okay? All right, so we would like to study that. That is through nursing, okay? And we use this theory to explain and describe the experience of persons having these technologies. Now, from the perspective of the patient, lived experiences of persons being cared for with the technology. So what is it like to have a pacemaker, right? I wouldn't know. I don't have a pacemaker yet, right? So what is it like? So you have to ask the person who has a pacemaker, right? What is it like to have an artificial leg, an artificial arm? We don't know because we don't have artificial legs or artificial arms, right? So these are the things that we need to consider. And you can explain and describe this experience so that we come to know and inform how we are going to practice nursing, okay? So we need to study this. These are the important things as far as nursing is concerned, right? Let us leave studying biological phenomena to biologists. Leave nutritional phenomena to nutritionists. Let them do it. We should study nursing phenomena. Okay? All right. So ethics and technological dependence, right? Cloning and bionic parts, an experience of being with, right? What is it like being with a person who can carry things beyond expectations? Importantly, nursing administrators, right? We should study how can administrators facilitate their nurses, to care for patients more effectively or efficiently. We have to facilitate this as administrators, okay? And these are some of the research studies. Development of instruments, and we have studied this. Dr. Tanioka in Tokushima University and his team has developed a lot of instruments in order to measure technological competency as caring in nursing in various settings, from the nurse's perspective as well as from the patient's perspective. Okay, and these are all available online through the internet. In the book that Warapon Kongsawan and I have edited, it's the evolution of the theory, right? And I have copies here that I'm going to give the Faculty of Nursing and the Department of Nursing. I think one of the persons who facilitated this was Arif Hidanat, Arif Imam, right? And so it will be available. So there are some instruments there, right, that you can use, and I hope you will. Okay. So these are some of the publications about the theory involving patients. Okay. So examples of humanoid nurse robots globally. Can you play this? Thank you. Yes. Good. Okay, so you notice these are all played together. This is made for the young people, all right? Because they want to see everything at one time, right? So this is purposely done. So these are examples of humanoid nurse robots that are being developed globally. Right? You have Italy, you have Russia, Thailand, Egypt, Japan, Korea. There's Indonesia, right? Okay, lower left hand, and of course Japan, India. Right? And these are just examples. There are more available. Okay. And if you are, you can probably ask the question, what made these robots nurses? Okay. So you go back to the definition I mentioned earlier. What are the images of nursing? What is the definition of nursing? See, if you look at a person with a cap, does that robot become a nurse? Right? So these are some of the things that you want to consider about what nursing is and what nursing is going to be. Okay, all right. So these are the challenges. All right, I think we're almost there. Okay, so let machines be machines and let humans be humans. Okay, these are some of the challenges I'd like us to focus: technology, skills, diversity, right? Equal access to AI. Right? So we have to have equal access to AI and automation across workforce. Some people would say, do we need robots in Indonesia? Okay. Do we need nurse robots in Indonesia? Maybe the answer will be no. We don't really need. There are enough human nurses in healthcare settings. But should we not develop nurse robots in the future? Well, you can answer that question, right? Okay. So this is an important perspective. So as always, nursing transforms the tools of nursing, the means. The end remains the same. Nurturing persons as caring persons, individually, in families, in small and large groups, in communities, locally, regionally, globally, and intergalactically. All right? So this perspective is very influential. So how will we nurture persons as caring in ever-evolving universal technological domain? Now, those who are studying nursing, right, you will recall, we have 4 domains in the meta paradigm of nursing: person, environment, health, and nursing. All right. So this is my attempt to add a 5th domain, which is the universal technological domain. Okay. So hopefully it will be taken and be used effectively. This is because of the advent of technology and the advancing influence of technology in human healthcare. So that, in my opinion, is how nursing remains viable, relevant, by continuing to be nursing. This is according to Savina Schoenhofer, a co-author of the theory of nursing as caring. Okay. So, as technology advances at breakneck speed, so must nursing in designing and developing tools to inspire a disciplinary practice that continues to reflect its natural relevance as integral to the attainment and maintenance of human health and well-being. Okay? So these are some of the references. Right? Thank you very much.
Okay, give applause for Professor Laksin. Thank you very much, Professor Laksin, for giving such informative and great presentation about technological competency in nursing. It's very, very interesting for me, especially for humanoid nurse robots, HNR. Okay, maybe for the next session, Okay, for now, we move to the second speaker session with Dr. Siwi Wijayanti. And in this session, she will deliver topics about the mosquito control. And Dr. Siwi, you have 40 minutes to deliver your presentation. Without further ado, time and place is yours. Thank you.
Thank you. I also want to stand up. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for having me. So after Prof. Rosano talking about the technology and innovations, I would like to talk about the strengthening collaborations for a vector control initiative in Indonesia. So my topic will be about the mosquito-borne disease that will be very important health problem in the world, not only in the tropical area, but also in the other part of the world. So the topic is the strengthening mosquito control initiative through collaborations. So we know that the mosquito-borne disease poses a significant threat to public health, affecting millions of people and causing considerably morbidity and mortality each year. Like we know that the disease caused by mosquito like dengue, malaria, chikungunya, filariasis that still exists until now, particularly in the tropical area. So the changes in temperature and the rainfall patterns, like the associated the climate change, expand the geographical range of the mosquito. So the climate change, like the rise of the temperature and also the humidity, it's very conducive for the mosquito to live. Like in Indonesia, in the tropical climate, mosquitoes are very happy to live in Indonesia. Not only for their life, but also the agent, like the virus, like the dengue virus of Plasmodium in malaria, unfortunately, they also replicate more rapidly in the higher temperatures. Like now, like the global warming, the effect of the global warming makes the disease transmission is much more rapidly. And also the globalization and travel, we know right now the globalization and travel, people travel lots from countries and also from another part of the world. So that's make the affect the disease transmissions. Because of the mosquito itself, or also because of the mobilization of people. So this is the example of the global distributions of the two major mosquito species that we know, like we know about Aedes aegypti and Aedes albopictus that transmit dengue and chikungunya. We know the current global distribution based on the map. So we know that not only in the tropical area, not only in the Southeast Asia and also in Africa, we can see in the maps the yellow one is the area that's suitable for the Aedes aegypti, and the blue one is the suitable for the albopictus. And the red one is the area in the world that's suitable for both Aedes aegypti and also albopictus. We see here that several parts of the world, like in Italy, in France, this area is expand the global distribution of Aedes albopictus. Usually there's no disease like dengue or chikungunya in like Italia or France, but now because of the change distribution of the mosquito, now the disease is already spread over several area here, and also in a part of America and also a little part of Australia. This is because of the mosquito is very clever. Like the Aedes albopictus is more resistant and very adaptive for more colder temperature. They can survive. The eggs can survive in very long periods of time, like a very 3 and until 6 months, and when the temperature and the environment is conducive, they reach, there is a water, and then they can breathe, and they can spread the disease around the area. So this is a concern about the effect of the climate changes into the distribution of the mosquito, and also the effect of the mosquito-borne disease. So for Indonesia, of course, Indonesia is very vulnerable for this mosquito-borne disease because Indonesia is in tropical climate. The higher temperatures and high humidity. So like I said before, mosquito is very happy to live in Indonesia. That's make very difficult to control because, for example, when I study in doctoral degree in Glasgow, I'm very surprised. I cannot find any mosquito in Glasgow because of they cannot survive in the cold temperature. So that's why several area or countries there's no mosquito-borne disease. But in Indonesia, unfortunately, the condition of the environment is very conducive for mosquito to live. And so the Indonesia is home of diverse rates of mosquito, and it estimates like 450 different species that identified in Indonesia. Like there's 3 major species, mosquito species like Aedes aegypti that responsible for transmitting dengue, Zika, and chikungunya, and Anopheles. We know that they're transmitting Plasmodium for malaria, and Culex that transmit the disease such as the Japanese encephalitis and filariasis. So this is the major vector-borne disease, and also the countries that affected by this disease. So mosquito is very tiny creatures, but it is disturbing and affect negative impact to the health of human. So we did a lot of effort to control the mosquito and also the spread of the disease. Like we did the biological control, like we have a lot of research did about natural predators like Gambusia, the certain species of fish that can eat the larvae of mosquito, and they can reduce the population of mosquito. And also the most popular vector control is in the chemical control using insecticide, and also there is environmental management, how to modify the environment, how to be the less suitable for the mosquito to breed. And also for the innovations, we did a lot of the effort for genetic control, like the release of the sterile mosquito. And also there is a new technology, Olbahia. Maybe all of we know the Wolbahia experiment that conduct recently. And also the last is the integrated factor management that I will explain in the last part of my presentation. So why there is a lot of effort, but until now the problem is still rise. We know every year, like in Indonesia, dengue, malaria, chikungunya, filariasis, it still occurs. Like dengue, since identified in 1967 in Jakarta and Surabaya, until now, the dengue still exists and spread almost in all parts of Indonesia. So there is several problems and challenges in mosquito control. Like my focus of research is since my PhD is in mosquitoes. There's several research that I conduct, and one the fact that we must to concern is the growing challenge, the mosquito insecticide resistance, and its implications. The chemical control, like insecticide, is very good, very effective to reduce the population and the spread of the disease. But the problem is there is a phenomena of insecticide resistance. And my research that conducted in Banyumas, and also I did also a research with my college in Brin, in Jambi, and also in Pekalongan. We found that mosquito is already resistant. It means the insecticide that used in the area is not effective again to kill the mosquito. So they use insecticide, but the mosquito still alive. That is very dangerous, and we need to address this problem. So the insecticide resistance is happen when the mosquito develop the ability to survive exposure to insecticide that would typically be lethal. So usually, or should be lethal, but because of the mosquito can have ability to do the resistance, or like the metabolic resistance, like mosquito can produce the enzyme that break the insecticide before they can harm the mosquito, or the target site resistant. And also some of the mosquito species also adapt the behavior how to avoid insecticide exposure. So that's why I said the mosquito is very clever creature. So how to address this? And so this is one several result of my research in several villages here in Banyumas Regency. I check mosquito in several villages and test with the susceptibility test and the biochemistry test. There's a percentage with the mosquito is still very susceptible. It is in the medium resistance, and also there's the category in high resistance. And for the susceptibility test, that here the mosquito exposure by the insecticide, and we're looking at in 1 hour of treatment, and also we compare to 24 hours, and we also know that in the first hour there's no mosquito that dead, so all mosquitoes still alive. That is a fact, and that's need a monitoring, regular monitoring to see is it the insecticide that used in the one area is still effective or not to kill the mosquito, to control the mosquito in the area. We also check with the PCR test result, and there is a mutations in the mosquito that reflect the mosquitoes already have ability to evade the insecticide, so that's why they can still alive. So what the implication of the insecticide resistant to the disease? So of course it's reduce the effectiveness of the control program. Like the insecticide is not effective anymore, so the mosquito populations are still higher, and also the risk of transmissions also still high. And also this will affect also the higher healthcare costs, the efficacy of the insecticide diminishes, so then more people can become infected by the mosquito-borne disease, so will be higher health care costs. And limited treatment options. When the several insecticide is resistant, we should looking for another type of insecticide, another mode of option how to kill the mosquito. So the fewer options, and we should research again and then having new formula for new insecticide to reduce the mosquito populations. And also, of course, it is a global threat that mosquito that are responsible for many mosquito-borne disease. So this is the insecticide resistance amplifies the global health threat posed by this disease. So addressing to this, there are several methods and also effort that we can do to eliminate or to prevent the insecticide resistance. We can do the rotating insecticide. So alternating between different classes of insecticide can help delay of development of insecticide resistance. So insecticide resistance happen because usually we use certain types of insecticide, the same type, in a very long time. So that's why mosquito, the clever creature, they will find a way how to still survive with this insecticide. So by rotating, we use different kind of insecticide, different kind of mode of actions. We can do delay of development of resistance. And also we can do the combinations of insecticide, like using insecticide with different modes of actions. And also, this is very important, monitoring the resistance. So, but unfortunately, like in Indonesia, the monitoring here, usually it's very rare to conduct. Like the research that I conduct, that I mentioned previously, usually based on the research that are conducted by researcher or maybe in the health ministry, but there is not regularly done. So it is very important to check in the field, is it the mosquito is still prone to insecticide or the mosquito is already resistant. So investing in research and develop new insecticide is very essential. And also integrated mosquito management is very important. So combining the methods, not only the chemical control. We have a lot of methods like biological control, also the empowerment of community to check the breeding site at homes. So we can do the combination for vector control to eliminate the insecticide resistance. So that's the first problem that I found during my journey to learn about this mosquito. So the second things that we consider and I found in the field is the transovarial transmission that happen in mosquito that impact also in the disease transmission. So I did also the detection of transovarial transmission in Kebumen and also here in Banyumas Regency. So we all know that usually mosquito transmit the disease by horizontal pathway. Like mosquitoes should bite person that infected with the agent, like for example dengue virus, person who infected with dengue virus, and then if there is mosquito surrounding and bite the people, and then the mosquito bites another person, so the person will get infected. So this is the traditional way of the disease transmit. But there is also the phenomena that happen is the mosquito can transfer the virus or another agent through the offspring, through the eggs, from the female mosquito to the eggs. So the mosquito with the dengue virus, for example, when they lay the eggs, they produce the eggs. The virus is transmitted through this process. And then when the eggs become the larvae, become the pupae, and become the adult mosquito, what will happen? They don't need to bite the human who infected the patient. They already have the virus inside the mosquito. So this is very dangerous when the mosquito, the next generation of the mosquitoes is already has the dengue virus or another agent in their body. When they grow up and become the adult mosquito, they already very competent factors just directly bite the person and they can transmit the disease. So this is very dangerous, and in Indonesia, in another part of the world, this is already detected, the transferal transmission. So what I did in my research, I collect the eggs and I breed until adult mosquito, and I check with the PCR and check the virus in the PCR and looking at whether it's negative or positive, the dengue virus in the result of the PCR. So this is the implication of the disease transmissions. The transferal transmission will maintain the pathogen reservoirs, like allow pathogen to persist within mosquito populations. So the transferal or vertical transmissions is the hypothesis why the disease is always persists in the certain area. Maybe some of you ever thinking why the several area the dengue disease is happen again in every years. So could be the transferal transmissions is the phenomenon that they explain this phenomena. So the next implication is disease emergence. It can contribute to the emergence of disease in a new area, or the re-emerge of disease in the regions where they were previously controlled. Also, of course, this is very challenging for control because the X or the next generations is already has the agent in the body of the mosquito. So another part or another problem that I found during my research is the community knowledge and engagement. Based on my research and my publication, there is a lack of knowledge of people, and also false perceptions about the outdoor spraying insecticide, or in Indonesia we call fogging. In Indonesia, when there is cases, people tend to panic, and then they call the health institution to do the fogging or the insecticide spraying immediately. But this is not the solution. This is the false perception is still occurs in the community. like the fogging should be done with a certain criteria, because of the fogging that very frequent the spraying insecticide can lead to the insecticide resistance that I explained in the previous slide. So based on the result, some of my publications, sorry if there is too little. So there is in the detail of items, fogging can done anytime. So this is very dangerous or false perception in the community. So the spraying of insecticide should be done in a certain time and a certain criteria. So it can reduce the problem of insecticide resistance. So in the perception of the respondent about the spray spraying, so I feel safer from dengue when spray spraying was applied in area. So there is a false sense of security. And also I feel that fogging spray spraying is more effective in controlling dengue than eradicating mosquito breeding sites, such as closing water reservoir, draining beds, and burying used goods. So there is a false sense of security. If in the certain area the fogging or spray spraying is applied, they feel safer, and they tend to neglect did not do usually we call PSN or pemberantasan sarang vector with the 3 M's, the 3 M plus. So when they feel safer, they did not regularly do the PSN, the pemberantasan sarang nyamuk. So this is a false perception that need to be increased of knowledge. So how to enhancing knowledge and community empowerment of mosquito control is also, I think, it's important to carry out. Like how we develop the educational campaign, like creating educational material for community, how to giving them good knowledge, adequate knowledge and true or valid perceptions, so they can know exactly the good knowledge about the mosquito-borne disease, how to prevent the disease, and have awareness and having active participation to do the prevention for the mosquito. So we can use various channels for disseminations like community meeting in school or local radio and social media or printed materials, or we can have more innovations to how to develop a more educational campaign. And also the second one is how to establish the community-based surveillance. Combating or reducing the mosquito population is not easy, and it's very long process and regular process. This is why it's difficult. Like the surveillance, regular surveillance is very important. Like in Indonesia, there is in here. The picture, there is a kadar jumantik in Indonesia, we call that check regularly, minimum I think is once in a month to check whether there is a larvae or not, or the mosquito in the house, and they report this. Ideally, should be in the one household, there is one of the jumantik. But the program is to develop and implement it in several parts of Indonesia. So when one one person who take in charge in their house to inspect the container in the surrounding of the house, like in Indonesia, usually people tend to store water in the long periods, and they forget to try, and then the mosquito tend to breed in the container. So this is very dangerous. So the surveillance, by checking the mosquito breeding site in each of the houses, is important to do. So the last part of my talk will be, because of the problem and challenges in factor control, we need more into the strengthening collaboration for integrated factor management. The EFM is old and new, because it's not really implemented in Indonesia, and also in several countries. So EFM, or integrated factor management, is rational decision-making process to optimize the use of resources for factor control. So the aims of the EFM is to contribute the achievement of the global target for factor-borne disease control by making factor control more efficient, cost-effective, ecologically sound, and sustainable. So what is IFM? So the integrated factor management, the key message is it should be evidence-based decision making. The evidence, like we should do a lot of research, and the research can be in an input or information for the health institution or the stakeholder to determine or developing policy how to prevent the mosquito and also the disease. And this is multi-approach. This is taking account of all prevalence factor-borne disease within the strategy of factor control. And also we use integrated of factor control intervention. We can combine several methods based on the local environment, local culture. So we do research and determining what the best methods or the combinations that suitable for the certain area of factor control. So, and the fourth part is also very important. This is also involving other sector and communities. So the control of the mosquito and also this disease is not only about in health sector, they're also in agriculture, and also in another part that could be influence and can do the contribution together, how to do the best way to control the mosquito. So the key element of the EFM strategy is like in here in the right part of in this figure, how to make advocacy, social mobilization, and legislations. So how to do the promotion and embedding EFM principle in designing policy in all relevant agency, organization, and civil society, and also strengthening the regulation and legislative controls, and then also the collaborative within the health sector with other factors, like strengthening channel of communication amongst policymakers, factor-borne disease programs, and other EFM partners. And the EFM also, like I mentioned before, is need integrated approach. We cannot rely on the single methods, because the single methods cannot effective because mosquito is very clever. They can do the insecticide resistant. They can transmit the virus through the eggs, and the climate very conducive for them to live. So the integrated approach is needed to together how the best way to find the solutions, and also the evidence-based decision making. More research that conducted is better to know the informations like distribution of species, the bionomics of the mosquito, and also how the community, the participation of the community to prevent the disease. And also the fifth part is the capacity building. So the EFM is transform the conventional system of vector control by making it more evidence-based, integrated, and participative. So with the IFM can be involves both reorientation of vector-borne disease control and embedding EFM with local health system, and also it needs like intersectoral partnership. So it needs a strengthening collaboration with various stakeholders. Vector control programs commonly focus on single disease, like for example, in the certain area, not only dengue, maybe co-infected by another vector-borne like malaria or maybe chikungunya. So the effort of the methods is also sometimes different, and also this have implications for how to develop and the best way. There is several diseases in the certain area, and so we should control in the same time. So this is the example of the several sectors like health sectors, also in the agricultural sectors, like how to advocacy in pesticides use and integrated pest management policy, irrigation, and also in the environmental sector, local government, intersectoral, and also how the policy from international and also for the national policy in Indonesia. So this is the last slide. Is about the process of decision making in the integrated vector management. So in the first step is we should do the research on disease situations like epidemiological assessment, vector assessment, and also stratification of risk. We can do the spatial analysis also, and then the second steps is for the operational local determinant of disease, and then the third is selection of vector control methods that's suitable, and then the fourth of needs and the resources that available in the certain area, and then we try to implement the effort or the methods, and then monitoring and evaluation. So there is the cycles of EFM. So hopefully by strengthening the collaborations by several sectors that I mentioned before, we can do better to reduce the population of mosquito. Because in Indonesia, it's impossible to make a zero mosquito. It's impossible. So what we can do is reduce the population of mosquito. Reduce the population of mosquito means reduce the risk of the disease. So like the theme of the conference, strengthening collaboration, is very important. I think that's the presentation from me. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, it's very amazing presentation, Dr. Siwi. Thank you very much for the presentation. And once again, please give a big applause for our two speakers today. Okay, so now we move into the next session, is discussion session, and we have 20 minutes for Q&A session. So please, anyone who want to ask to the speaker, please raise your hand. Okay? Anyone want to ask? Okay.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, and I want to say thank you to Professor. Your research make me amazed, and then it make change my mind about the caring in the nursing. And I want to ask something about the robot nursing. Whether children can be properly cared by nursing robot, because if you know that treatment for the children is focused on the automatic care. Like we know children have easy to frighten, like we must focus on their psychology too when we need to give treatment to them. So whether children can be properly cared by nursing robot. Thank you.
Thank you very much. As far as robots or humanoid robots are concerned and children, have you heard of Pepper, P-E-P-P-E-R, a robot that has been developed by SoftBank in Japan? The two reasons for the development of the robot was, one is to entertain children, and the second is to facilitate the care of older persons. That was the two-pronged program for the Pepper. Currently, more studies ought to be done in using Pepper for children and for older adults. Dr. Tetsuya Tanaoka of Tokushima University is using Pepper for patients with dementia, assisting them in order to live a more meaningful life. So they use Pepper for exercises. Right? Unfortunately, I did not include Pepper in my presentation, but I hope you are. It's available online. You can just type Pepper, right? Not Dr. Pepper, right? But Pepper only, all right? So then you can see how it's being used. But Pepper is, I think, affordable. Okay, I think it's $3,000 US. But you have to have maintenance, which is really important. The bad news is SoftBank has discontinued the use when the development of Pepper. But I think it's available. I think they have enough supply to lease or to rent out Pepper, and they can be used for children. Actually, that's the main reason. But if you go to Japan, they have used Pepper to advertise sushi shops, right? And you can order through Pepper's menu. Right? So there are many uses for these robots. And this robot is only three foot high. So they're good for children, in other words. So I hope that answers your question. But it should answer your, increase your, or motivate you, stimulate you to use robots for children, for example, because I think that's your focus, right? How we can use to improve the care and the health of children, right? Thank you for that question.
Okay, so it is enough? Yes. Okay, so maybe for another questions. Okay.
Okay, thank you, moderator. Uh, Let me introduce myself. My name is Ana Sumeru. My question is for Mr. Loksin actually. So currently I'm also a lecturer in the nursing information system. So maybe I'm a bit interested with your topics, Professor. So we know that technology is like a two-edged sword. Yeah, it is also positive and negative effect of using technology. I mean, like maybe, yeah, so many developed technology that we use for now, yeah. But sometimes, yeah, also technology is very addictive, I think. Yeah, like as example, maybe when you said we use the, what is it, infrared to find the vein, yeah, it's so addictive sometimes because for maybe the students, yeah, when they know that technology, they maybe think, yeah, it's not necessary to find the vein manually. I think it also will cause yeah, lack of spirit, maybe lack of the willingness to find or maybe to learn. Yeah, that's for first. Yeah, yeah, how yeah we can what is it? Yeah, we can see always in the positive sides in the technology where there is also the negative effect of technology. For the second is, yeah, in Indonesia, yeah, maybe I will talk in Indonesia. Yeah, it's a developed country, so maybe it is also difficult to maybe, yeah, I think it's different in the US, yeah. While in the US, you try maybe to develop more and more the technology, while in Indonesia, we try to maybe to spread the technology because we are archipelago country, yeah, continental country. So maybe it will not be easy as well to maybe to make the technology can be used in many yeah, archipelago country. So maybe that's maybe can I ask one more question maybe? Yeah. So as the technology develop, so it will be the well-being condition for the patient. So maybe maybe thinking maybe when the well-being condition is increasing in a country maybe, so will the age of the the expected age of living people in a country will increase? Will it cause the also the problem in demographical, because maybe yeah the age countries it is so many aging people, so will the younger has to support maybe I mean that as the EC parties maybe we need more yeah, money yeah, to support the aging country maybe. Yeah, that's all what I want to ask to Mr. Loksin. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Let me just summarize. Perhaps maybe I'm missing something because so you had three things actually. One is the utilization of technology. Actually, the security, safety and security of technology. That's the first one. Second one is whether in Indonesia we should be using robots, right? And third is related to number two, I think, is your question. But if I don't answer that, the third one, please ask it again, okay? So let me start with the first one, security and safety of technologies, or robots for that matter. Now, because these robots are technologies in using artificial intelligence created by human beings, right? So there is that responsibility that goes back to human beings. Okay. Now I know we see movies and then we think of autonomous robots, right? We have to go back to Isaac Asimov's 3 laws of robotics, right? And so something like robots should defend, should not kill, shall we say, the creator, right? So this is a good opportunity for us to understand how robots will move or advance in the future. So safety and security, how do we secure information that are generated by robots, right? Especially in patient care. These robots will be able to obtain secure or healthcare data of persons, right? And how are we sure that they cannot be hacked? Okay, so that's a security question. So all this information usually are stored in the cloud. Now there are other ways of storing information nowadays, not only through the cloud. I think a lot of technologies are now being developed so that it is not only stored in the cloud, right? I'm not very adept at what is happening as to storage and security, but that's a very important understanding. We have to make sure that it is secure. Okay, so how can we prevent? So computer science should be able to do something about this. Programming, both software and hardware, because of the increased sensitivity. Okay, that is what is important. Sensor definition, high fidelity sensory data, right? How they're being developed. So the security, where is it stored, and who can access it? Okay, so this is very important. I have no answer to that. That I will give to the programmers, right? Those who are using the AI that you include in the robots, right? So we have to be very careful. Okay, right. Now, second, should Indonesia be having robots, right? As I mentioned earlier, you already have healthcare robots, okay, and artificial intelligence is out there, right? But are we talking about humanoid nurse robots, right? I don't think they're necessary. Okay, we have enough nurses in Indonesia, but in case of healthcare robots, we can use what is available. What are these robots out there, right? I know I mentioned about having humanoid nurse robots that are being developed in Indonesia, right? But how effective will they be, right? And for what reason, right? I think the human connection is needed. But until such time, we should be aware as to the extent of having humanoid nurse robots. Okay, awareness is really very important so that we understand why and for what. Okay, so to answer your question, I cannot answer, right, whether or not we will be needing it. But I think the Ministry of Health in the future may want to consider, right, if we are to be abreast with the world, right? But you have to ask the question: what is the purpose then? Okay, is it for competing with healthcare technologies out there, or is it for human healthcare? If it is for human healthcare and for nursing to remain relevant in the future, how can we use robots to our advantage? Okay. Should we have robots as slaves, right? Or should we have robots as our masters, okay? So that, because, well, they can be programmed, right? Right now we have students using artificial intelligence, right? ChatGPT, right? And so it's available online, okay? It's for free, right? Now robots can be programmed similarly, and they can provide answers immediately, okay? So we have to be aware and abreast with what is happening in the world, okay? And how can we prevent information from being shared by people who are not supposed to know about such information, okay? So that's security and safety. Okay? That is the challenge for computer scientists, okay? All right. And the third one, can you rephrase your question, please?
Okay. Okay, for the question is about the effect on the demographical condition in a country where the well-being condition is increasing. So, yeah, the young age must support the older age. Yeah, since the condition is, yeah, better. Yeah, I think that's the question.
So I think your third question is about application, right? And I think the development of technologies, smartphones, right? Telehealth, telenursing is really very important. And I think I mentioned this yesterday during a meeting with the public health office unit yesterday. We need to maximize the use of smartphones using telehealth services, right? Teleservices, making it telenursing, okay? So we can reach the farthest part of Indonesia, for example, or the world, and gather and generate data. Now, Indonesia is made up of how many islands? Right? So at least I know the Philippines has 7,100 islands, but I know Indonesia has more. But the idea is we have to reach the remotest areas, and we can use this through technology. And so we have to enhance that. How can we facilitate so that information is shared and access to artificial intelligence is very important, and that we need to be aware, okay, so that we can use it to our advantage for human health care, okay. I hope that answers your question. Okay, thank you so much. Terima kasih.
Okay, maybe for the next questions, I will give one opportunity for the participant in the Zoom meeting. So for participant in Zoom meeting, please raise hand if you want to ask to the speaker. Yes, we use. Okay, we have Mrs. Dian Ramawati. Okay, Mrs. Dian Ramawati, please, you can ask the question.
Thank you for the opportunity. Good morning to the afternoon for the speakers, and thank you so much for the wonderful delivery, knowledge and expertise for both speakers. And I would like to ask Professor Laksin, you mentioned about the robotic technology in nursing care. So I would like to know what should nurses do when she or he or several or a group of nurses interested to inventing robotic technology to enhance nursing care, since we don't have the basic training of robotic technology before. So how can nurses contribute in inventing such technology? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for that question. One of the important things that we nurses should understand is we have to elevate our contribution to research, right? What do I mean? Many times nurses are used as end users of technology. We are not participating in the development, design, and manufacture of technologies, right? But a lot of companies will just tell you, okay, here is a technology, use it. Tell us how it is. But why not nurses should be involved and recommended in the development of technologies, right? We should. In fact, Osaka, Kyoko Tanaoka et al. Have recommendations, and it's published online, as to how nurses can participate in the development of and manufacture of robots, okay? And we have certain responsibilities for that, okay? So I hope you can access that, and we can communicate more in the future. I should like to give more time to Dr. Siwi.
No.
Okay? So thank you so much.
Okay, maybe for the last question for Dr. Siwi. Okay, maybe one last question because limited time for us.
Thank you. My Dr. CV, you explained that some genes have a mutation in a mosquito, so it makes it resistant to the mosquitoes. Is there any information from your research regarding what kind of gene that have mutated, and is there any information that this mutation make it more virulent, and is there any mosquitoes in Banyumas? Because maybe if the virulence is increased, so it will more dangerous. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Henny, for your questions. So the ability of the mosquito to develop the insecticide resistance, they do the mutations in the several, there is certain species has the certain gene that usually in the several publication mentions, like in Aedes aegypti, in KDR mutations, in Anopheles is different again, and also in the Culex, several genes that identify in research that connected with the ability of the mosquito to evade the exposure, the ability of insecticide to kill them. And my research is in Banyumas is not until the identification of the genes, but in the several publications it's already identified. And then for the virulency, the virulency of the ability of mosquito to transmit. So there is several mutation also. The mosquito tend to transmit the agent is more rapidly because of the mutation of the mosquito. Also, this is identified in several publications. But usually the virulent is in the agent, not in the mosquito. Like in the dengue virus, because it RNA virus that tend to has rapid mutation. So there is several serotype in dengue virus, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and that's there is continuing mutations that make it more difficult to control. Like people can infected by certain serotypes of dengue virus, and they develop of very short immunity, and then if they exposed by another strain of serotype, they can be infected again by the strain of the mosquito. So for the virulence or the capability to make the more rapid transmissions is more into the agent of the virus than in the mosquito itself. I hope my answer can answer your question. Thank you.
Okay, so I think for discussion session is enough because of limited time. Thank you very much for the speaker for answering those questions. And ladies and gentlemen, we finally come to the end of the first session. We would like to thank so much for all speakers, and also we would like to thank so much also to all participants. Please give a big applause for the speaker and all of us. We apologize profusely if any words that less pleasing to everyone here. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day. I'm giving back the lead to the MC. Good morning. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you to our wonderful speakers for a very insightful presentation. Professor Rosano and Dr. Siwi. And also to our moderator, Ms. Ikmi. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, that concludes our preliminary session 1 for this morning. We will have a short break, actually a long one. I'm sure most of you are hungry. We kindly ask all participants to return to this ballroom at 1 p.m. for preliminary session 2.
And we also would like say hi to the participant who joined via online or Zoom. Hope you enjoyed the conference, and right now we will break until 1 p.m. and then we'll continue for plenary session 2. And we have information for the participant, especially for Indonesian participant, untuk Bapak Ibu yang akan mengikuti executive dinner. Nanti malam akan dilaksanakan pada pukul 6:30 malam. Dan untuk informasi lebih lanjut dapat menghubungi panitia yang berada di luar ballroom. Karena dengan executive dinner ini nanti Bapak Ibu diharapkan dapat berinteraksi dan berdiskusi dengan sesama peserta atau pembicara seminar. Dan untuk sekarang kami persilahkan untuk Bapak Ibu yang berminat mengikuti executive dinner dapat menanyakan ke panitia di luar ballroom. Dan untuk saat ini kami persilahkan Bapak Ibu untuk menikmati hidangan makan siang dan break sampai jam 1 bisa untuk sholat dan makan dahulu. Dan akan kami lanjutkan ke plenary season 2 pada pukul 1 siang nanti. Terima kasih sementara dari kami seperti itu. Silakan untuk menikmati hidangan makan siang yang telah disediakan oleh panitia.
Thank you. Please all rise and we can have our break now. The refreshments the committee will be serving. Please enjoy.
bacaan seperti itu.
Tenaga dia.
Yes, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. What about you two girls? Are we going to get your pictures? Okay, forget it, you're not important. Sorry. You get angry. Okay, we will come back at 1 o'clock, right?
Cek, cek 1 2 cek, cek, cek.